Hello everybody, Hardcore Ninja here with another SFML 2D side-scroller tutorial. Alright, so in the last video, we created the drop-down GUI class for our drop-down element, and we implemented one little test drop-down in the settings state. So by this point, you should be right here with the series. All right, we have this little drop down here that doesn't mean anything, but we can open it. And you can see that the input time is working, so that we're not uh, clicking these too fast. And you can experiment with this if this seems too slow, and you can kind of customize it the way you want. But you see our our copy is right in the center of these buttons here. So that makes it very nice. Okay, so hopefully by the end of this tutorial series, we will be done with this. And another thing is I had to kill the music. I just started uploading the videos, and YouTube is giving me a bunch of copyright errors. So sorry, you probably found the music annoying anyway. So it's probably a good thing that I killed it. But let's just getting on with this. All right, cool. All right, let me just make sure I'm recording. Yep, recording. Awesome. Okay, sweet. Okay, so last time we did this. Now, we're putting these strings into a vector here, and then we're kind of converting it to a kind of a traditional string array by taking the raw data from the vector here. And I think that's a little bit unnecessary. So the first thing I want us to do is I want us to just turn this into a std vector, std string, just because I think that, I don't know, if you're a beginner, this just might overcomplicate things. So we're just going to send the std vector just directly in here, like this. Okay. And then that way we can get rid of this data thing here. We don't even need that anymore. And everything should be good in the hood if you run this. All right, see? We're just passing the entire vector through. Not a big deal. Okay, cool. So that's the first thing. And I just want to kind of clean this up a little bit because I was using, I think this could just go on this line like that. Beautiful. Put this stuff back. And we will fix the cosmetics of this after we're done getting all the important stuff going. All right. So what we want to essentially do is we want to create a drop down to change the settings of all the variables that we have going on here in the graphics settings class. Okay, for the exception of the title. The title will be, obviously the name of the application. But we want to do we want to essentially grab all the available video modes from the operating system and provide those as options for people to select. Full screen is just essentially a bool that we're providing, VSync, etc. Okay, and then there's going to be some kind of things that we have to do, because we're going to have a few of these and there might be overlapping of them. So we need to set it up so when you have one open, you're not selecting the other drop down, because these are going to kind of overlap each other as they open. Okay, so what we can do here is just kind of start organizing ourselves. I'm going to go into settings here, and we're going to create a private variable, and we'll call this private variable std text, and this will be called or ff text, and this will be called sf text object called what do we want to call this? These will be like essentially the titles, like full screen and stuff. I guess just just call it titles. I think that's fine. All right, just like that. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll do a void init text. This. Okay. And in void init text, we'll do this titles dot set font to this game details font. Okay. Oh, you got to do this as a reference, I think. Oh, got to dereference it. That. Okay. And then you got to do this titles dot set character size to probably 20. We'll see how that looks. This titles dot set fill color to white. Okay, this titles dot set position to SF vector 2F. All right, so we probably want this to come about 120 F off the right hand side, and probably 120 F down on the left hand side too. All right, and remember, if we have the window here, at this point we will have 0, 0 on the X and Y axis. Okay, so it goes this way is positive X, and this way, oops, and this way is positive Y. All right, so you're starting from here, and this is positive Y, this is positive X going this way. Okay, so that's how that works. So essentially, if I put 120, 120 here, I'm starting from 0, I'm going 120 over here, and then I'm going 120 over here. Okay? Cool. All right, now this titles dot set string will be equal to probably want resolutions. Okay, like that. And then do a line down. We might want to do a couple lines down, but we'll see what this looks like. And then maybe full screen. And then do another line. And then maybe B sync. Add a colon there. Do a line, and then what was the other one? We got the resolution full screen vsync. Oh yeah, anti-aliasing. So then anti alias. How do I spell it? Yeah, alias. Okay, and I think it's spelled like that way usually. It's just do a quick Google search. Yeah, like that. Cool. Anti-alias. All right, and then we'll just give it another line for good measure. Okay, cool. And we'll just see what this looks like and kind of fix it from there. Okay, so we got the font, we got the character size, we got the position. We don't need to set the origin because this will automatically be aligned to the left, so I think that's fine. And then anyway, we're going to call this here this init text, and then just to keep things organized and standardized, we'll do a little for everything we render in the render function, we'll probably just have a separate function to render it, just so that we know it's all separated and doesn't look too junky. Um, or maybe this would be like titles, and maybe I should change this to titles. Oops. I think that makes a little bit more sense. All right. This should be target raw this titles. Just like that. And I should probably do this for background too. Um, okay. And this way I can do this render background target. And all this stuff is broken up, so I know everything specific to it can just be fixed in that function. Um, titles, this render titles. Okay. So this is just kind of a good habit to break things up into smaller functions like this, just so they're kind of segregated. So when something goes wrong, you can just go to that little function and deal with it. Okay, so this should show some titles now. All right, you see? Awesome. All right, so it doesn't like my capital letters here, so the font. This is the something with the font. All right, excellent. Now, do I have an extra space or something? Yes, I do. So I think you got to make these very close to the. Right now, they're all aligned. Great. The aliasing. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Now, might call this just resolution, and I might give these just an extra, just to make them a little bit more spaced out. There we go. Nice. Okay. So now we got the little titles there. So now we kind of know what we're doing. And I might, I think I'm actually just going to bring this about 20 off. And I should do this probably more specific. To be honest, I should probably do this more specific to the resolution because this will be different regarding the resolution here. So this game details dot window get size dot x. All right, plus uh, plus 20 point f. So this will just make it a little bit more dynamic, essentially. Then change this to y, and then oops. Plus 20 point f. There we go. Make this like this. It's a little bit easier to read. Yeah, so all this is going to do is just make this much more dynamic. Just like that. Oops, what happened? So game details, set position. All right, so get the size. X plus 20. Oh, I'm sorry. So Okay, so this should actually be the y actually should be here 0, because what I'm saying is I'm saying get the size here. What I'm saying is get the size, so it's going to so the size of the y-axis is way down here. It's like the full size of the screen. And also I'm saying get the x-axis, so it's like way over here. So actually, I was wrong. You don't want to do this. You do not want to do this, because I just forgot that it's relative. So this is fine the way we had it, essentially. This is fine because it's from this. My brain just wasn't working. It's from the zeros. This is going to assume, regardless of the window size, you're starting from 0, 0. All right. So the way we had was fine. But essentially, I said, start from here on the x-axis, start from here on the y-axis. Yeah, no, it was fine just the way we had it. Don't mess with that. That was perfect. This will be dynamic. All right, this will be fine, because this is relative to the 0 point here, regardless of the screen size resolution. So you see, it's going to stay right there. So cool, excellent. So that looks good. All right, cool. So at least we know where we're going. Okay, so now what we need to do here in settings is we will need to make a std vector of SF video modes and call this video modes. Okay. And we will go ahead and create a void init variables. And this video modes will be equal to SF video mode get full screen modes. I think I have to double check this whether it's yeah, get full screen modes. Beautiful. Okay, so this is going to return see, this is going to return an std vector of all the video modes from your computer. Okay, so essentially this is returning, this function right here is returning this std vector, retrieves all the video modes supported in full screen mode when creating a full screen window. The video mode is restricted to be compatible with what the graphics driver and monitor support. This function returns the complete list of all video modes that can be used in full screen mode. The return array is sorted from best to worst, so that the first element will always give the best or higher width, height, etc. Okay? So that's all you have to do to get the video modes from the computer, from the operating system. Okay, so now we're going to go into here, and we're going to go back into this drop-downs here. And this is for full screen. Okay. So now we want to essentially copy this and put it up here, because we want this to kind of fall in the order here. So we have resolution, then we have full screen. Okay. So okay, so we're not going to initialize this to anything. We're not going to initialize this to anything. Essentially what we want to do now, and we want to change this to resolution. String vector. Okay, and then we want to do is what we want to do is we want to make a for loop now. Auto this video modes. Okay. So essentially for every element in this vector, we want to push the result back into this as a string. Okay. So to do that, what what we want to do is we want to do this dot push back um, std to string I dot width have a little separator there. Okay, I think, oh no, this got to be a plus sign. Plus, plus, okay, and then height. Okay, great, just like that. Beautiful. All right, so essentially we're taking the width from this video mode for each element in the array, and we're adding a little X to separate it, you know, for the how you typically see it, and then we're taking the height, and we're taking whatever, it's probably a unsigned integer or something. Yeah, you see it's going to be a unsigned int, and we're just turning that unsigned int into a string like that, okay? Okay, cool. So now this, go right in here. This can also go right in here. Okay, now it's not going to complain anymore. Now we're going to change this to resolution. Okay, and now we can change this up. So we should make these, change the character size here to what we did for, I think 20 was a good size. So we're going to do 20 here, and we're going to have to adjust the size of the buttons as well. Okay, so what we want to do is probably, so the position. So for the position of these now, we can edit these quite a bit. Okay, so we don't want it to be in the dead center like we did before. We actually want this to go from the 0 point over. So this can, the Y can be, oops, for this, the Y can be like that, and this should probably be, try 60F if this is 20, because remember, this has an origin in the button class set to the center. Okay, so you got to do it a little bit more, a lot more than this, because this is going to be essentially lined to the left, and this is going to be essentially lined to the center. Okay, and now since now that this is 20, we should probably do just like 100 point F by 50 F, and that'll probably be a little bit better. Okay. Okay, great. And let's go ahead and change this down here too. So we just got to move this on the y-axis by a consistent amount. So we'll have to experiment, but let's try to move this up by to 140. We're gonna just experiment with these constant values here just to see what we need. All right, and just like that. And we can turn these into local variables up here that would be easy to change for all of them as well. So yeah, so we'll probably do that. Okay. So let's just, I guess, see what this looks like. So this is gonna already be, if you open up the render dropdowns here, it's gonna do a for loop. So that's already set up. Both of these should render. Oops, what happened? Access read violation. Okay, what happened here? Okay. Okay, did I screw something up? Let me see. resolution vector. Okay. Okay, what's going on here? We got the font, we got this, we got that, we got the full screen vector. Okay. Everything should be good here. I'm not sure what the... Okay. Basic string. Okay, so symbols loaded, access read violation. We had a null pointer. Unable to read from memory. Unable to display value. Okay. Interesting. So we might have to go back actually to the way that we had this before. Let me go back in the GUI here. std string, okay. Yes, vector list. I don't see any problem with this. Let me just check my other code real fast to see if I did something. No, that's the way you do it. Let's just bring that back. Let's just bring this back to the way we originally had it here. So sorry if it's kind of going back and forth, but let's just go ahead and do that. See if maybe you have to do this. Oops, now we got to go back here. Just like that. Huh. Oh. Oh, I think I know what's going on. Oh, this has to do. Oh, I'm sorry. This has to do. Okay, so this has to do with the map. This has to do with the map. Okay, so I think update dropdowns, update DT dropdowns, resolution. This dropdown map equals unique dropdown. Yeah, this, I'm pretty sure this has to do with the map here. So this is resolution. All right, so um, okay, second. Okay. So I might have to do this like if this drop down resolution um no. What am I doing? I shouldn't have to do this. Let me see. Shouldn't have to do this. Let me see what's going on in here. Update. Yeah, we might have to do this all individually here. We might have to do this all individually here. Oh, you know what? Ah, I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. No, everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. I know it. I forgot to call the init vector. I'm so dumb. All right, so in settings here, we got to call this init variables. Okay, so that's important. That's all we forgot to do because we're setting this here, so this should be good now. All right, see? Beautiful. And we got the screen resolutions and everything. All right. Oh man, well, how embarrassing is that? Okay, so anyway, that's all we did. Everything is fine. You can leave this just like it is. This is totally fine. Okay, so you just got to remember to call this init variables. That's all it was, okay? Because it just wasn't, it didn't have anything in this video modes yet, okay? So all is good in the hood, okay? Beautiful. Okay, so we're moving forward. That's all that was going on with that. And by the way, we can bring all this back to the way we had it. Just like that. Just like that. And everything's going to work. Okay, just didn't do it everywhere. Oh yeah, now we can go back and take this data thing away. Just like that. Okay. Now everything's going to work. All right, there's our little drop downs. They're in ugly spots, but we're going to fix that right now. So yeah, we definitely want to move this more over, maybe like 200. Let's just see what that looks like. Okay, so you see we're a little bit more over. We also need to make the width of this more like 150. All right, maybe 200. All right, that's perfect. Okay, now we just got to keep moving it over, maybe like 250. A little bit more, maybe like 300. All right, so we probably want more like maybe like I'm just gonna do 400 here. All right, how about 375? Let's make it just 350 even. Here we go. Beautiful. Okay, and now we just want to kind of center it with the resolutions thing. So let's just make this like, okay. All right, that was a little bit too much. Make it like 25 maybe. Okay, maybe make it 40. All right, so 35 maybe. Hopefully this is it. All right, great, 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 great. All right, cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn these into local variables here. So we'll do float, um, float position uh, x. equals this. Float position y equals this initially. And then I'm just going to put this in here. And I'm going to put this in here. And I'm going to put this in here as well. And also, oops, not there. Here. And then I'm going to put this in here as well. And then we'll just like add to the y here. All right. And then we'll do float size x, I guess, is equal to 200. We want all these buttons to be the size of them, I guess, to be the size of the largest one. Just like that. Okay. And then it's going to be size x, size y, and then size x, like that. Cool. Nice. Okay, so now we just want to add maybe plus 100. See what that looks like. All right, so that was a little bit too much. All right, so we're definitely going to add maybe a couple more lines to this now too. I would add about that many. Yeah, so that way, beautiful. That's looking nice and beautiful. All right. We also got to take out this colon here because you could probably do it in your font, but my font doesn't support the colon. It just looks ugly. Okay, so this has got to maybe go up by plus, it's got to go back. So let's make this maybe plus 75. Oops. No, that was too much. All right, so maybe like 95. It's got to go back a little bit. Cool, so that's about, so between these two, it's about a distance of 95. So we'll do float offset y. It's going to be initially equal to this. And then we'll put this here, and then we'll multiply it. So this is like times 1, right? We'll do it like this, and then times 2, etc. for the next ones. So we don't have to figure that out every time. All right, so that looks good in the hood. Okay, so now we're moving on to the next one. Okay, so now this will be for the, what's the next thing we have? We have resolution VSync, right? So we'll just change this to VSync. And for the vertical sync, and like that. And that's just going to be a bool as well, so that's pretty much going to be it. And this will just be times 2. Okay. Nice and pretty. Okay. Oops, what went wrong there? Oh yeah, you got to change this to VSync. VSync. Okay, give it a unique. All right, you see, it's all nice and evenly spaced. We obviously got to bring this back button down, which might as well just go ahead and do that. Edit buttons. We'll just keep the sizes, size of all of this. So the size will be X. Oh, we can also do it for the character size here as well. So we'll do, this is going to be unsigned, right? Yeah. So it's going to be unsigned character size. It's going to be equal to 20. right? Character size. Bada boom, bada bing. Cool. Also put the character size here as well. And so this will be at the very bottom. We'll have the position X. All right, so the position X will be the same as pretty much, I think it'll actually be the same as the titles. Um, we'll do this here as well. So this will be float. We'll just take this stuff. And we'll make this 20. We'll make this, rid of that extra space though. Like that, and then the character size as well. Just like that. Cool. So we'll make position X the same, and actually all we'll need is a Y offset that we're going to subtract, because we're going to subtract it from the very bottom here. So we actually want well, actually I could do this. I could do the position of this will actually be equal to the game. This will actually be equal to the window. Yeah, this will actually be equal to the window here. We'll do the static cast. Bam. So it's going to be equal to the window, and then we have the offset here, which we're going to subtract from. So I'm sure it's going to be like 100 something. Okay, so now we got all of this. All right, but it's going to be minus the offset here, which we'll do is 200. Okay, cool. Now this is small enough to have it's all in this one line. Okay, so that's the button position. I need to have this way over here now. So much better to have this stuff as like little temporary variables, just so you can easily change them on the fly. Okay, cool. Cool, excellent. All right, sick. So that's the way that's gonna be. And we also have the size here, so that's gonna be new size of the button, and then we also will have the character size like that. Just like that. Cool. All right, let's see what that looks like. Oops. Redefinition. Oops. Yep. We have that. And that offset should be with the position, right? And just to keep this consistent, just so we know what we're doing, we'll multiply this by 0, and then multiply by 1, and then multiply by 2. This offset should actually go with position variables like this. Oh, nice and pretty. Cool. All right, there we go. Beautiful. All right, so now, okay, so we're gonna make offset just maybe 50, and oh, this has got to be, no, that's the position. That's fine. And It's gotta be, it's gotta be, so this, all right, so this should probably be maybe 250. All right, there you go. That looks a lot better. Okay, I would probably align this more with, this is what we can do about this. This will probably be, let's try 150. All right, maybe 125. All right, there we go. That looks good. All right, so now we're cruising. All right, so now the last thing we need to do is we need to do the anti-aliasing, and I can't have the hyphen in here because this font. Okay, I'll probably end up picking another font because I can't use those. Okay, so here we go. So this is the last thing we're gonna do. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, so this vector. All right, now we'll multiply this by 3. We'll call this anti. I always forget how to spell it. How do you spell anti-aliasing? And we'll call this anti-aliasing. And we're going to have a little bit more values. And I think you do this by the power of 2. So, yeah, so 0, 1, 2, 4, 6, 0, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. Okay, cool. Right. And this will be called, let me, this. Oh, just like that. That's fine. Right, then we'll do times 0 times 1 times 2 times 4 times 8 times 16 times 32, just like that. Okay, those will be all the anti-aliasing variables that we'll need. All right, cool, cool, cool. All right, excellent, beautiful. Look at that. Okay, so they're kind of going off the screen here, and the resolution's not changing, but let's see. Okay, but they're working. Great, great, great. All right, so the last thing I'm probably gonna do is okay, yeah, okay. So I think we'll have to make these fonts a lot smaller. And also I'm going to give these kind of a background because they should have kind of a filler background just so you can see them a little better. So if we go down into our, well, if we go up here into our init variables where all this is nicely laid out. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're actually going to make it all black with just like a transparency. Okay, so this should be so if you do it like this, then you're dealing with just the RGB color. So you could do like RGB color calculator or something. So if you have like all black, it's just going to be 222 essentially, right? Okay, so we're going to have 2, 2, 2. And then the next one's going to be the alpha. Okay, so the alpha, if you look on SML color. All right, so when you do it like this, it's always 0 to 225 because that's just how the way the RGB scaling is. So RGB color calculator. So it's always like 0 to 255, okay? And you have the red, the green, the blue, and then you have the alpha. All right, so here you have, so this will be the red, this will be the green, this will be the blue, and there's actually a fourth variable for the alpha as well. And I think 100, 255 is 100% opaque and 0 is completely transparent, okay? So we can actually put 0 in for all these, so 0, 0, 0, and then maybe make it like 100 like that, okay? And I think we want to do that for all of these. Like that. Or we might make them 100% opaque. Let's just see what that looks like. All right, so now you see um, you can't see through them. All right, actually you can still see that. Okay. Okay, and I think that has to do because of the order we are, I think this has to do with the order that we're putting them into the vector and rendering them. So I think to fix that, all we have to do is just rearrange the order. So essentially, the first thing to be pushed back into the map should be the anti-aliasing. And then it should be the VSync. And then it should be the full screen. All right, like that. So this should fix this, I hope. I hope I'm not being so really stupid. Let's see. No, that did not work. All right, so I gotta look into that, see why that's happening. Okay, cool. So just bring this back. That was. Yeah. So we might have to like make some flags to we might have to make some flags to quit the rendering of some of these when they're open. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to look at my other code and see what's going on. But if we go back into here, we got to do this for the active element as well. Okay. And just to remember how this was for the buttons, we got then we got the outline. Got the outline, color. Oops. Like that. All right, so you see the V-syncs going over. Um, I don't know why why this is getting through the resolution. It's kind of weird. Hover. Okay, but there you have it. We're getting close to making these drop downs. We have to play with the sizes a little bit because obviously this is going off out of the screen's view here. I'm just going to make these all white as well. Let me just check real fast if I have any things for the yeah. Okay, all right, cool, cool, cool. All right, so this is this. So what I just did before, um, is what I did in this program, but just in the render function. And all right, so essentially what I did is if I go back to here, okay, so if I go to settings, control MO, close everything, go back here. So instead of rendering these in a for loop, if we render them individually, we can kind of specify the order we want them to render in a little bit more precisely. So for example, I could do this drop down map at, what did I say, anti-aliasing, right? Nope. I want to render this target. So this is going to be the first thing rendered, all right? And then I will do it for what VSync, full screen resolution. And do it in this order. And hopefully this will fix the overlapping issues. If not, I'll have to look into this. All right, there you go. Great. Now there's no more overlapping issues. Okay, so that's what you have to do. And you see this one opens and it's nice and clear. And now we just got to kind of, we might as well do that right now while we can. So we're just going to have to make the font even smaller, just and maybe even bring the position up a little bit on all of this. So if I'm going to bring the title, position X. So let's bring this up to, so we're going to reduce this by 20 there. And then on the drop downs here, we should reduce this by 20 as well, essentially. So if I go 135 minus 20 equals 115, 15. All right. So let's just see if now. All right, so I reduced that by 20. Okay, great. I'm actually going to reduce it probably. Let me just control Z that so I remember what I had. All right, so I'm going to reduce this by 50. So actually probably 75. So let's do 120 minus 75. Or actually, let's just reduce it by 100. Make this 20. Make this 35. Great. All right. So that just brought that all the way up very tight up here. All right. And now we just need to make these, make the character a little bit smaller. So let's make this 10. Let's make this 10 as well. Let's make this, let's make this 100. Let's make this 20, 25. Let's do it here. Just do that. Oh wow, that screwed up the position quite a bit, huh? All right, but at least they're all, at least everything's kind of fitting on the screen. At least everything is fitting on the screen. All right, so we're gonna have to adjust this offset too. So, all right, so let me figure out what this offset's gonna be. So this offset would be maybe more like, all right, so I reduced this by 100. Oh my gosh. The Y by the 100. All right, so I was 20 here. So, oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to just put 50 in here. So, yeah, you see, the first one's gonna be correct. We just gotta affect this offset now. So let's make this maybe 45. Okay. How about Whew. 40. All right. 42.5. Okay, forget it. Let's just make it back to 40. I think 45 was pretty good. All right, there you go. That looks pretty good to me. You probably could center this a little bit more. If we were to put, all right, so let's make this, all right, so let's increase this by, let's increase this by 50. So 35 plus 50 would be 85. So we'll do 85 here. And then this would be 70. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, that doesn't look too bad. You can mess around with this to get it exactly the way you want it, but I think that looks pretty good. That's pretty good to me. Okay, so we're gonna stop here. We got the rest of the drop downs done today, and in the next video, we will make these actually functional and change and update the graphic settings and all that. All right, awesome. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.